Get on your grind, shorty K.
I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it. See, it's diamonds in your soul, but you gotta dig a lot deeper. See, all of our minds been exposed, but I've been changing the frequency. Sending my prayers and affirmations, way past where them eagles be. What I learned in my returns is not all things you need to see. You gotta feel it, the negative talk, the negative thoughts, and you gotta kill it. I know that it's hard, and it leaves scars, and it ain't appealing, but you gotta heal it. There's lessons in every little layer, but you gotta peel it. Cause the best way to get some air is removing your ceiling. Look, trust me, I know cause I did it. Hit rock bottom, looked around like damn, what the fuck I do with it? I remember the levels and picked up my shovel and I started digging and digging and digging until I got dizzy. And trust me, the spirit been busy. I'm back and I'm paid and I'm busy, so feel like I'm acting the way that you get it. This is for back in the day when they just shit it. I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it.
give you guys education, right? I hope y'all were able to hear what was going on. I think my mic was muted. But not only am I able to provide you guys with education and things of that nature, but I feel as though I'm in a position to where I now know what my real purpose in this all is, right? Excuse me, it's bigger than podcasting for me. This is bigger than podcasting for me. This is a platform that I'm utilizing to reach a multitude of different, people. I have a lot of things that I'm looking to build in 2024, and I see that this is the stepping stone to it all, right? Um, because it's provided me with the confidence to actually fall through with what I'm trying to do. And you know, it's a lot coming. It's a lot coming. It's a lot that is going to be actually implemented within, the community more. Um, I want to start, getting into to spaces or places where we're actually coming together like a big group chat, right? But outside of just the phone, we're actually meeting and greeting one another face to face, having these conversations, having these engagements, right? So that we can improve on specific, things, whether individually, whether in business, or whether, in community. Um Globally, right? I look to impact on a grand scale. Why? Because I'm abundant. You feel me? And I believe, or this brand believes as well, that everybody is abundant. We have an abundant amount of energy. We have an abundant amount of information. And I feel like my purpose in this all is to connect the dots. Like, I want to connect individuals with the right people so that we can produce and create the things that we need to create. Like, we're creators, right? We're small G's, we're small gods, right? um and if my mission here is to create on this planet or this realm, or to learn and calculate data so that I can take back to, the divine source or the higher energy, and truly ensure that I'm walking in what I need to be walking in, which is like my mission, or whatever have you. Like, we need to be doing that. I don't want to keep rambling on and on and on, or repeating myself about what I'm going to do and what I'm looking to have happen. I just want to, place that spark in everybody's mind. Next year, 2024, it's time to destroy some mindsets and constructs and paradigms, and it's time to build new ones, right? Black future, not black past. Um, though you need to understand the past of where you have come from to know where you're going, most of the time when you're in the now and you're moving in what the Most High needs you to move in, you're thinking future. You're thinking beyond, the time that you're living in right now. Why? I mean, I just know how to study and I know how to observe. Most of the individuals that, quote unquote, say run the world, they're planning things out years ahead, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? Because they think future, they plan for future. That's why when you're going in, say you're in real estate and you're going to buy a house, they don't give you a month to month plan. It's a 15-year mortgage, 30-year mortgage. They're thinking future. You feel what I'm saying? They're thinking down the line of building generational income. It's not just right now income, because they have goals and plans, right, to produce for when they're not even here anymore. And that's what we should be doing as individuals and as a community. We should be thinking future, right? And that's what you guys are going to get from this platform. You're always going to, get you're going to get some rants, but my rants are going to have meaning, right? And there's reasoning behind it. There's knowledge behind it. So take that as you can. Let's go ahead and actually just get into the podcast for tonight. We got some things to talk about. So let me go over my disclaimer first, And then, we're gonna continue chatting. All right. The vibes here at SYG Studios are to motivate, educate, and enlighten our people to achieve greatness through seeking new ways to invest in themselves. Everything is high level, family. What we think, what we say, how we feel, and how we act. But before we even get into the energy, take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, family. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, family. Okay. We love engagement over here and understand that a village pushes the trend, not just one individual. So the support is much appreciated. Also, take the time to visit the link. Take the time to visit the link, family. Join the SYG community on all social platforms. You can book one-on-one consultations. You can add me to your contacts. You can buy merch, right? I'm gonna upload this probably on the site. If you wanna grab one, come grab one. You feel me? So many things that you can get out of just hitting this link. I'm always producing new content. I'm actually about to release some books that I feel that will be very engaging. Building a brand 101. I actually writing a personable book as far as like about my life, things of that nature. I feel like those are the ways that you immortalize yourself, rather, right? Put content out. Our aim is to not only grow the legacy, the brand, but reach at least 500,000. Yeah, I said 500,000 individuals who want, need, and are seeking the knowledge to live a more abundant life. Now, with all the information being provided, I do have to send out this quick disclaimer. Please take the time to do your own research. It's very, very vital. All right. My content is intended to be used for motivational and educational purposes only. Always do your own analysis based on your own current circumstances. Now, here's my favorite part. We're going to all come together so that we can step into our God body energy. We always go through like a slight meditation for any newcomers who might be in here today. We always go through like a slight meditation, little 10-15 second meditation to focus and to step into discipline. So how we do that is we inhale peace on the inhale, and then when we exhale, that's us receiving that new growth and ultimately seeing our greatness. So let's go ahead and do that on the count of 3. Inhale peace, exhale at your at when you feel you need to, and then realize that you are now in your greatness. All right, 1, 2, 3. Inhale peace. Exhale growth. Now ultimately see your greatness, family. Here's what we are learning and tapping into today. Of course, again, episode 53, See Your Greatness podcast. Episode title of the day is It's Time to Show Up. It's time to show up. That's been the message of the week for me is show up. Just show up. Now, what does show up mean? Showing up means like if you feel that there's a urge to be a better version of yourself, show up. If you feel that there are individuals who need you and they count on you, show up. If you are trying to accomplish new heights, new goals, and just again ultimately redefine yourself, all you have to do is just show up. What is show up looking like? It's always best to do 1% better than you did yesterday than 0%, right? Showing up just looks like, how I would view it, me dedicating my time every Tuesday and Thursday at 5:55 p.m. to get out a message and to check in with y'all. I'm just showing up, right? Providing knowledge, providing energy that I feel as though you guys can utilize so that you can, shift into whatever you see as greatness in your life or what you feel like you want to start embodying. You have to show up. You know what I'm saying? We get a chance and a choice every single day that we wake up to show up. If we're not showing up, the way that you can see that you haven't been showing up for yourself is just look at your life. Are you happy? Are you truthfully happy with, where you are in life? Whether it's, financially, whether it's spiritually, whether it's mentally, right? Whether it's socially, economically, like, are you truly happy with where you are? If not, then you aren't showing up for yourself. And I say that because at the end of it all, whether we want to blame the government, whether we want to blame our traumas and what happened to us in the past, whether we want to blame this or that, at the end of the day, it still comes back to, what did you do? Did you show up? Did you handle the things that you needed to handle to ensure that you are putting yourself ahead rather than pulling yourself back into situations that you are ultimately trying to get yourself out of? Are you in the trap, right? Are you hanging with the trappers, right? Or are you someone who, is in your own lane and you see life beyond being confined to something? That's what a trap looks like to me, when you're confined to just this space, right? And you're unable to break free and express yourself. You're unable to break free and see anything outside of yourself, or in layman's terms, outside of your environment, or outside of the city and state that you live in, like outside of the people that you hang around every single day. Like, how are you showing up for yourself? So this was a message that was given to me personally, right? And I said, okay, who else may need to hear this message, right? Because if a message is being given to me, I know that as a vessel for the Most High, right, which is my Most High mind, I'm a projector. I'm supposed to be, conveying this to others who need to hear it, because they may be stuck. They may be lost, right? So time to show up was perfect for me, because we're going into, again, a season to where it's going to hold you accountable. This is the 8th year. Symbolically in numerology, or if you want to get into supreme mathematics, the 8 means build and destroy. This is the year of building and destroying constructs, paradigms, right? How you think about yourself, how you're producing for yourself, how not only you're producing for yourself and others. Like, this is going to be a moment where people's minds and their spirits and their bodies are going to break down, and either push them to build themselves and their community and others up stronger, or fall like the rest. That's simple. It's so many things around us that are falling and crashing and being destroyed if you haven't been looking. Relationships, the government, their systems. You feel what I'm saying? Nations against nations. People would say this is so-called biblical, right? But for me, like, it's written in the stars, right? This information is projected to us from above before it even happens here. As above, so below. Whatever is happening here within the land that we live on and walk on is happening above too. What does that mean? We can take that as literal, that there can be something happening in our skies, right? That is happening down here as well. We can take that spiritually, whatever we're experiencing within or exposing ourselves to within, that's transforming into or mattering in our reality. Like, all of these things are real. It's real. Why? Because we make it real. Whether we're thinking it, whether we're saying it, whether we're working towards it, we make these things real. We have the ability to build and or destroy ourselves. And all this really is like a balance. That's the lesson that I learned in it. Are you balanced? Are you balanced financially? Are you balanced within yourself to know that you can be abundant and you can live confidently, right? Are you balanced spiritually, right? Are you balanced consciously? All this that is about to transpire and happen, and that is happening right now, it's about balance. My homie, shout out to Super. He saw me a picture earlier. He was in an airplane And he was like, yo, I'm gonna send you a picture. You tell me what you see. You tell me what you see. Right? I'm not gonna tell you what I see. You tell me what you see. So he goes on to listen as I explain, well, I see the two oceans. It almost looks like a reflection, right? It was, blue here at the bottom, blue at the top, but in the middle, it looks like a almost for layman's terms, like a white line. But I knew it was the clouds, right? It was the clouds that was dividing the skies that were up above and the skies that were below. And as I was, constantly giving him my perspective on it, we both came to a conclusion that it was the balance. It was the balance. That's like it's shown. It was a depiction of balance, as above, so below. Right? What you see happening here on the foundation, that's going to determine what's going to happen above, the things that are built on top of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like when it comes to families, if the man isn't in the home and this woman is having to grow up and raising the kids on her own, that building is destroyed. What do you mean by that, Christopher? What do you mean by that, Lord? You cannot have anything that is going to be stable if there aren't things implemented within, whether that relationship, that business, your mind, whatever, that provides balance. You have to have balance. That's what man and female signifies. That's balance right there. That's what the waters below and the waters above signify. Balance. Right? And in that balance, you need to know when to destroy certain things so that you can build new things. You need to know when you need to destroy the soil so that you can plant new seeds and produce new fruit. That's the season that we're going in, right? And I'm talking to those who feel they need to convey a message. I'm talking to those who feel they need change or they're looking to change. Because this can be your year that you receive your breakthrough. However that looks. This can be the year that you receive your breakthrough based off of what you change or what you destroy in your life that is producing you harm, producing you confusion, producing you distraction, and you can build new ways of life or ways of investing in yourself by creating a new foundation to stand on morally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, because it's all aspects, because all those things is energy. And if one thing is out of balance, everything is out of balance. If the mind is not in order, the body and the spirit is not going to be able to operate properly. If the body is out of order, the mind and the spirit is not going to be able to operate properly. Right? If the spirit is out of order, the mind and the body cannot operate properly, effectively, or efficiently in any of those aspects. It's all about alignment. It's all about balance. It's all about discerning or having discernment in how you're supposed to be shifting in different seasons. Like I was talking to my mom earlier. I said, you know what, Mom? It's funny because last night I had a new shift in life of as far as how I feel we need to start perceiving things. My whole paradigm is how I viewed about life was destroyed last night, and now I'm building it up to walk in new imagination. What if you lived in a world where life was actually turned upside down? That we were actually supposed to see signs and view what seasons we were supposed to go through from the skies above, rather than listening to the news and propaganda and things and distractions that are below us. Everybody's always looking down. But what if in all actuality you're supposed to be looking up? Like when I tell you my whole paradigm was destroyed last night, and I'm now, and even in this moment, building it up to understand like what is real. You wouldn't believe it, yo. You wouldn't believe it. But this is the time that we are living in right now, where people are going to really start seeing the world, the universe, life, themselves differently. Paradigms are being destroyed. The veils are being destroyed. And people are now building their respective lives of how they truthfully want to live. Like me personally, I want to start living in the private. I don't want everything to be public. I don't want you knowing where I live at. I love you. But for me personally, I like my peace. I like my sanity. I like being able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and not have to abide by rules that I personally don't feel are beneficial to the all. That's just me personally, right? So I'm destroying certain things within my mind and in my spirit and in my body so that I can build new life for when my kids get here and then their kids' kids. You feel what I'm saying? This is generational. This is future for me. These videos are documentaries for me personally, because I know that my child one day is going to need to go back and listen to these things in order for them to be able to operate properly, mentally, physically, spiritually, economically, right? Multitude of content. I'm putting my Psalms up here. Psalms of Lord Christopher. You feel me? Shout out to Myron Golden, because he educated me on like how those who were really rich, they produced thousands and thousands and thousands of content, what we call it today. Thousands and thousands of books, scriptures, writings, teachings. I got 75 uploads on YouTube. I'm going to keep going. Why? Because I'm destroying the part of me where I felt like educated was going to school for 8 hours, reading a chapter, and then coming home and doing homework. Like that was being educated. No, this is education right here. Me building my own school, utilizing, YouTube and other platforms as the housing units for this content, but I'm building my own school essentially. I'm giving so much information in these 75 videos. Interviews, people coming on. Shout out to Natural Organics. I need to get you on a podcast for the new year, by the way, Nat. So if you're looking at this video, I need you up here, because we're shifting into a time where we have to start eating healthier as well. And that's, a topic for another day. But I just got a multitude of content on top of content. It's compounding and compounding on top of each other. And it's good content, y'all. But I'm now in a perspective of like, oh, I'm building stories. I'm building books for people to listen to and gain knowledge so that they can be the best form of themselves, so that they can step into their greatness every single day. That's the season that we're in. Building, destroying, becoming a better version of ourselves. And you just got to show up. All you got to do is show up, right? Another thing that I wanted to state, I want to give you guys like my top 4 values as a creator, a partner, a business owner, a conveyor of messages, a student of the game. When it comes time to showing up for yourself and being able to provide balance, you got to have values. You got to have morals. You got to have a foundation and things that you stand on so that you're able to build up into where you need to be, right? And 4 is, I feel easy for people to grasp onto. Just 4 things, not a whole list of 10. I can give a multitude of different, things that I stand on, but just four. And I encourage people to build four values that they'll stand on as they go through their building and destroying year, right? My four were discipline, focus, love, and laughter. As I go into this year of building and destroying, my four things that I'm focusing on are discipline, focus, more love, and more laughter. I'm 34 years old now, and I'm not old, but I'm wiser than I once was when I was 20. And as I become wiser, certain things are more prevalent to me now. They're more relevant than irrelevant to me now. And so now I'm moving differently. And as I move differently, I start to understand within myself, like, yo, you really have to start moving militant with yourself almost. Like there's no more going outside and just always living in flow. Though living in flow sometimes is important, there's always an emphasis on order. If you're out of order, you're in chaos. And for me personally, I started to see that my disorder came from me not moving in principle, me not moving in value, me not moving in on a moral foundation, especially as men, y'all. Talking to my men now. If you're going to be a quote unquote head of a household, head of an army, head of a business, head of anything, you gotta have codes of conduct. You gotta have rules. You gotta have laws. You gotta have protocols. Because if not, there's no structure. And where there's lack of structure, there is frenzy, there's confusion, right? There's miscommunication, there's misunderstanding. So I said to myself, this year I'm changing a lot for not only myself but my family that I'm supposed to be leading. I know what it looks like to not be a leader. I grew up seeing people not being able to lead their own homes. There wasn't really a leader in mine. And that's no knock to anybody, but it's my truth. It's my fact. I learned that, my dad and my mom or other individuals in my family were unable to instill certain characteristics within me because it was a generational pattern of individuals not leading the way that they were supposed to. There was no order. Most of the homes were mothers taking care of the children, fathers nowhere in sight, or even vice versa. Father taking care of the children, mother nowhere in sight. It was never a perfect representation of that balance, right? Discipline. Discipline is training yourself to obey yourself, right? That's what discipline is to me. Training yourself to obey yourself. For instance, if I said, hey, you need to start fasting at least once a month, and I don't fast in that month, that's lack of discipline. That's lack of practice. You feel what I'm saying? If I say to myself, I'm gonna save $1,000 and I'm gonna commit to putting $100 up every month, and I don't put $100 up every month, that's lack of discipline. That's lack of practice. I learned that most of the individuals that we quote unquote look up to, are influenced by, listen to, are being taught by, they have discipline. They've trained themselves to stay head first or steadfast on a particular task and not let distractions or lack of focus sway them away from standing on what they truly want to stand on or build what they truly want to build. Which moves me on to my second value, which is the focus. Focus to me is being intentional on what you're paying attention to. Tongue twister. Being intentional on what you're paying attention to. For instance, if I'm, I love video games. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I've always, been intrigued by how, they took some of our favorite, basketball players, football players, or movies and turned them into things that we could play to reenact, these stories or these different things that happen. Like, I like it. I want to create my own video game where you can explore and just use your imagination. However, if I know that I'm supposed to be focusing on building a stable foundation for my family, and I know that I can get drawn away into a video game for hours and it's not really benefiting me financially, it's not really benefiting me in that moment. Not to say that you can't produce finances from it, but in that moment, if it's not producing for me financially, if it's not producing a better environment for my home, why am I playing the game right now? Are there going to be moments where it's like, okay, I can take a break and set a timer? I'll give myself an hour. Yeah. But focus, real focus comes from when you are staying disciplined on a particular thing, right? And not allowing things like video games or just scrolling on Instagram or just looking at videos on YouTube keep you away from important things that need to get done. I'm a business owner, right? So if I go and I play the game for hours and then I remember, oh shit, I forgot to submit ... to this particular company or this invoice to this particular company, as a business owner, that's bad. That shows, like, say I'm attempting to get in a partnership with somebody else. Certain individuals look at that. They look at whether or not you're focusing on them when you're talking, or are you distracted by everything that's around you? Are you able to think clearly when you're in a particular situation, or because you've been scrolling so much and playing the game so much, you aren't able to focus on something for 15 minutes. You almost have undiagnosed ADHD. That stuff matters. Focus, intent, having intent on what you're paying attention to. That's focus. Love, man. There's an undesirable feeling about the thing that you do, right? There's a undesirable undescribable feeling about the thing that you do, right? It brings you nothing but joy, right? It's unconditional, right? It's almost like, the ideology or of how God sees us. Like, no matter what we do, he loves us, right? Now, I translate that into myself as far as, like, no matter what I do or the things that I'm doing, do it with love. If I'm focusing on myself, do it with love. If I'm focusing on other people, do it with love. If I'm focusing on my business, do it with love. Why? Because love is so powerful that it will reveal things to you that you may not be able to have seen if you were moving, for lack of a better words, in selfishness, or if you were moving in ignorance, or if you were moving in if you were moving in a space of where you were trying to harm someone. Love is just different. Again, it's undescribable, right? Like, love just has this energy that hugs over everything and transforms everything into what it needs it to really be. So if I love my family, if I love, the work that I do, I have to implement that in everything that I touch, because I've seen that it produces everything into gold. Everything. It changes everything. You can be in an argument with your wife. You could be an argument with your husband, but if y'all start sharing love to one another in that conversation, it can shift the whole conversation. But when you're moving in chaos, when you're moving in disorder, when you're moving in hatred, when you're moving in things that don't provide you any joy, you start to resent. You feel what I'm saying? You start to question, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? That's not love. You feel what I'm saying? And love brings focus. Love brings discipline. So that's another important thing to me. And then laughter, man, having fun. Like, I'm human. I'm human too. You don't think I be tapping into some certain things that happen in the world, shade room stuff? Like, yeah, I engage with it sometimes, because even in that recklessness, even in that low vibration of information, there are keys there. There's knowledge there, right? Because you can also learn from people who are moving in disorder, right? You can also learn from people who are not as aware about what's happening and transpiring as you are, right? So, I tap into some stuff like that, and that's fun to me. It's entertainment. You feel what I'm saying? It makes me laugh. And laughter is also, for me, it's like when I'm having fun, you know, it gives me the power to do something different and not fear it. It provides me with a sense of adventure. It allows me to be in my imagination. So maybe I should change laughter to imagination, because because my imagination is fun. My imagination um provides me laughter. My imagination creates things for me. um my imagination allows me to see things differently as well. So yeah, man, those are like my top 4 values, you know what I'm saying? As a creator, a partner, a business owner, a spiritual being here that's conveying messages. Like, I have to move in discipline, I have to move in focus, I have to move with love, and I have to move with, what I had said, laughter, but imagination. I have to move in imagination. Imagination is using my mind. You know what I'm saying? My mind can create things for me that nobody else can. My mind, I'm cool with being by myself. I can make myself have fun. I can make myself laugh. Yeah, you feel me? Um, so that's the message of the week that I wanted to give to y'all. Now, let's go ahead and transition this into some dope topics that I wanted to talk to you guys about. First topic at hand is in the sport realm, right? My guy Rich Paul. My guy Rich Paul does it again. My guy Rich Paul does it again. Rich Paul has now expanded his brand into the MLB. He's now expanding his brand into baseball. Let me see if I can bring this up. Window. I could do Chrome tab. Share. All right. Y'all can see that. So Rich Paul, let me change the there we go. So Rich Paul, Clutch Sports Group expands into the MLB after acquiring Rep One Baseball. My guy's in a whole different space, and look, shout out to him. I'm actually reading his book right now as well. Let me actually pull this up on the big screen. I'm reading his book right now as well. Lucky me. I definitely encourage you guys to go get you a copy. That one was actually sent to me from a contest that I had got into. So Rich Paul, Clutch Sports Group, is expanding its domination into the sports world, y'all. According to a news release, the leading sports agency has acquired Rep One Baseball, another top agency with a roster that features star athletes such as Boston Red Sox Rafael Devers, Milwaukee Brewers Devin Williams, and Cleveland Guardians Andres Jimenez. Jimenez. In addition, Clutch Sports Group has formed Clutch Baseball. The new division will be led by Chris Corris, who is the CEO of Rep One Baseball, per the new release. This is a quote. We believe in the transformation power of sports, and this move into baseball aligns perfectly with our commitment to excellence, innovation, and best-in-class representation for the world's most talented athletes. Paul shared in a statement. The game of baseball has a special place in the hearts of sports fans around the world, and we're thrilled to extend Clutch's reach in the sports and to welcome Chris, the team, and their clients to Clutch. Chorus added, meaningful progress in baseball representation is long overdue. This move signals a shift in conventional thinking and reinforces our commitment to our clients by uniting our unparalleled contract negotiations and servicing with the expansive client-focused 360 approach and cultural significance that UTA, which is the United Talent Agency, and Clutch are known for. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to elevate player expectations as they seek fulfillment during and long after their playing careers. Clutch Sports Group has come a long way since being founded by Paul in 2012, as shared by Afrotech in May 2023. The founder and CEO recalled the sports agency trajectory as it's reached its 10-year anniversary. I said on my IG post, the good thing is it was a great 10 years, and we look forward to 10 more, Paul said at the time. Just getting better as a company, me being better or getting better as a leader, because we don't just represent players, we represent their families as well. That was a dope article that I wanted to bring to y'all, man. And for me personally, I feel like, this is greatness. This signifies, what my platform is about, like highlighting greatness. Rich Paul is he's good at what he does. Very great at what he does. And I always want to bring, faces like this to my people because it shows us that we can do more. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to just be the ones that's dribbling the basketball or being the entertainment. We can be those businessmen, right? Businessmen and women in the background making deals as well. This world is ran off business. So everybody needs honestly to take heed to, what happens in the world of business as well. You feel what I'm saying? And he has a stronghold on business, especially when it comes to implementing it in the sports world. Now, more on business, another article that I wanted to bring to you guys is more on the tech side, where NVIDIA just made $3 billion. NVIDIA just made 30 billion. I'm sorry. $30 billion in another in another I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. In another rise in their stock, right? I'm all about stocks, and the reason being is because my mindset about it is, you know, our people were once stock. Our people is the stock market. People are the stock market, believe it or not, because there would be no stock market without the people. There would be no stock market without people wanting to consume things. There would be no stock market without, you know, people needing to use other people to produce things. How they used to do it, quote unquote, in slavery. That was the first Wall Street, right? Slave owners selling our people to different slave owners at a good price. Also based off of what this slave would produce for this slave owner. That's what stocks do. That's how the stock market literally operates and runs. It's all based off of what this company or what this business can do for not only their country, but globally. That's why Apple is worth so much. That's why Microsoft is worth so much. That's why Google is worth so much. That's why Vanguard is worth so much. That's why the S&P 500 is invested in most of these companies, is because it's what these companies produce for the masses all across the world. So Nvidia, owned by CEO Jensen Huang, rakes in another $30 billion in personal wealth as stock skyrockets amid AI GPU frenzy. The war right now is a tech war, y'all. Believe it or not. Like we're still experiencing nation against nation war, but it's also about to transition into a tech war, a bio war, right? Those different types of things. He's already worth, right here as it states, 43.5 billion right now, right? And y'all need to study these people. Study your ops. And even if they're not your op, just study how they move, because idealistically we all want to wake up to billions of dollars when you really think about it, right? But if I go back to my top values, we lack discipline, we lack focus. We always want to consume things instead of build and create things. We're always moving in drama instead of moving in love. They get it. They study us. What do you think these Rothschilds and these Rockefellers and all of these different companies, Meta, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, SpaceX, whatever you want to think, Twitter, WhatsApp, all these different platforms, they study y'all. You are the people who make them billions of dollars richer. So instead of constantly walking in the consumer mindset, if you really want to get to a point like this, like me personally, I just want to see how good I can be all around, whether as a husband, whether as a businessman, if as a friend. I want to see how great I can be. He's already worth 43.5 billion. He just scored 30 more billion. Nvidia's stock price this year has increased massively in value, and that's made Jensen, I'm not going to continue to say his whole name, CEO and founder of Nvidia, a much richer man than ever before via Business Insider. Worth roughly 14 billion at the start of 2023, Huang is now worth nearly 44 billion dollars, right? Thanks to his ownership of many Nvidia shares, and he is now the world's 27th richest person. Nvidia makes, now he's worth 44 billion. He's the 27th richest person. 27th. Nvidia makes many of the best graphic cards, so that's the industry that he's in. But the latest surge has more to do with AI than gaming GPUs. AI is taking over, y'all, right? But again, Wong was already worth quite a bit in 2020 and 2021 when Nvidia's stock rallied due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 2022, however, saw a broad decline in stock prices, especially for tech companies like Nvidia. After hitting a peak of $326 on November 30th in 2021, Nvidia's stock price crashed to $121 on September 30th in 2022. That's the stock market. It's going to go up, it's going to go down based off of what's transpiring within the world. However, this year has seen Nvidia's stock price skyrocket, and at the time of writing, it is now 237% more valuable than it was on January 1st of this year. It's all thanks to the hype around AI and what it can do commercially. Nvidia was already a leader in AI before this year, thanks to its Tensor cores and AI software, and so it's hardly surprising that Nvidia is the key beneficiary of this investing spree. Although the stock market isn't always right about the value of stock, it's clear why investors love Nvidia so much. The company hit over 13 billion in revenue in Q2 or quarter two of this year, beating the previous record 8 billion. 10 billion of that revenue came solely from the company's data center segment, thanks to the recent surge in demand for AI hardware. So data, they're collecting your data, y'all. That's what's making them rich. Y'all are giving them the information that they need. This is far more money than Nvidia has ever made in a single quarter from gaming GPU sales. Nvidia isn't the only tech company getting a stock boost from AI, though. AMD's stock price has risen 81% since the beginning of the year. Microsoft has increased 54%. Meta shares are up 175%. And even Intel stock, which has performed very poorly recently, is up 63%. They actually got beef. Intel, it's funny when you see real beef. Like, this is beef to me, right? Not like your rappers and things of that nature, not Metro Boomin and Drake, right? This is beef right here, right? Intel and Nvidia are in beef because Intel came out with a quote stating that Nvidia is just lucky, like they've reached their stature just off pure luck and not like actually, you know, having the business and the imagination to create something that, you know, consumers actually really enjoy and love. Of course, if Wong doesn't sell his stock in his own tech company, his net worth will continue to be tied to Nvidia's stock price. That means if investors lose confidence in the commercial viability of AI or feel the AI stocks are overhauled, then Wong's fortune could see a big plummet alongside Nvidia's stock price. So he's all in. Pretty much his money is Nvidia. Recently, Nvidia has had to face restrictions on export of many of its top GPUs to China and other countries, which could impact the bottom line. The company is announcing its Q3 financial results after the market closes today. And if investors don't like what they see, that alone could cause a significant decline. Still, even when the stock market was at its worst in 2022, Wong was worth roughly 13 billion, y'all. $13 billion, which is certainly more than enough for a cozy retirement. That's amazing right there. That's amazing right there, man. This man has built a fortune for himself. And again, I produce these articles and this information because I want you guys to, you know, go research it for yourself and see how, you know, it can impact your life. You feel what I'm saying? If these things that I show to you, as far as Nvidia and its owner making $30 billion, right, in a year, how can that spark you to go out here and create something? Like, it's already sparked me to want to go out here and create STEM programs. It's already sparked me to want to go out here and create trade centers instead of like regular recreational centers. I want to have like trade recreational centers, right? So it's definitely sparked something within me, because if I want to be quote unquote financially wealthy, then I have to study the financially wealthy. You feel what I'm saying? So that was a dope article that I felt like, I wanted to bring to y'all and spark, something within y'all to go research yourself. Now, let's go ahead and move into one of the last articles that I wanted to show you guys. And this is more scientific. This is in relation to the sun cycle, right? And how it is reaching its what we call solar maximus by 2025, right? This all is important because it depicts how certain things within the world are gonna, even transpire. Like if it's as above so below, that means what happens up in our skies has an impact on what transpires here, on earth, right? God made these things for a reason. The higher ups, they utilize a lot of this information to create their technology, to get ahead of what's about to transpire within the world, so forth and so on, right? They actually use what's above us to calculate how they need to move here on the planet. So we're going into the 25th sun cycle, right? 25-year anniversary of the sun, right? And their sun cycle, or the sun cycle, is like every billion years, right? And I think we're about to be it's the 25th sun cycle. However, when we translate it to our years, it's every billion years. Follow me on this. So time, when you actually like get into quantum physics and things like that, time is actually slowed down for us, how we perceive it. In the astral realms, in the universe, in the stars, in planes and dimensions that we can't see with these two eyes, time is actually moving faster than we think, right? Like even a perfect depiction of it is how fast we've gotten to the end of this year. Nobody cannot tell me that y'all don't feel like time has been moving very, very fast as of late. And there's reasons behind that. It's because there are certain things that are happening right up above us that we don't really pay attention to, right? Whether it's solar flares, solar winds, radioactive energy that's coming from, the sun, or the light rays that it produces here on Earth. Like, it impacts a lot, right? And scientists and these higher ups, they study this stuff. I study it because, again, why not study the things that are around you? Why not study that sun up there that provides you with life? If the sun wasn't there, you wouldn't be breathing right now. So I think it will behoove people to get out and actually study nature, study the things around us that provide us with a lot of codes. They provide us with a lot of messages. They provide us with a lot of energy. They provide us with a lot of life, right? Why not study it? So this was reported from the National Weather Service, right, on what's to come. This solar cycle, or this 25th cycle, is actually supposed to happen in 2025. So the solar minimum between solar cycle 24 and 25, which is September 15th of 2020, was when I believe the solar cycle 24 was. So it looks like it's like every 5 years, 3 years or so. All right. The period when the sun is least active happened in December 2019. So So solar cycle 25 is when the sun wasn't producing as much active energy. 2025 July, when it goes to its solar maximus, that's when the sun is going to be at a heightened state of producing a lot, or the most energy that it has emitted in a very, very long time. When the 13th month smooth sunspot number fell to 1.8, according to the solar cycle 25 prediction panel co-chaired by NOAA and NASA, we are now in solar cycle 25 with peak sunspots actively expected in 2025, the panel said. Solar cycle 24 was average in length at 11 years and had the fourth smallest intensity since regular record keeping began with solar cycle 1 in 1755. It was also the weakest cycle in 100 years. Solar maximum occurred in April 2014 with sunspots peaking at 114 for the solar cycle, well below average, which is 179. Solar cycle 24's progression was unusual. The sun's normal northern hemisphere led to the sunspot cycle peaking over 2 years ahead of the southern hemisphere's sunspot peak. This resulted in solar maximum having fewer sunspots than if the two hemispheres were in phase. Solar cycle 25. For the past 8 months, activity on the sun has steadily increased, indicating we transitioned to solar cycle 25. Solar cycle 25 is forecast to be a fairly weak cycle, the same strength as cycle 24. Solar maximum is expected to be in July 2025 with a peak of 115 sunspots compared to the 2014 sunspots in 114 of 114. How quickly solar activity rises is an indicator on how strong the solar cycle will be, said Doug, PhD. Doug Biseeker, right? He's the panel co-chair and solar physicist at NOAA. I don't know why I want to say NWO, NWO, like this was wrestling. But he's a physicist at NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. Although we've seen a steady increase in sunspots activity this year, it is slow. The panel has high confidence that solar cycle 25 will break the trend of weakening solar activity seen over the past 4 cycles. We predict the decline in solar cycle amplitude seen from cycles 21 through 24 has come to an end, said Lisa Upton, who is also a PhD panel co-chair and solar physicist with Space Systems Research Corps. This is no indication we are approaching a Maunder type minimum in solar activity. I don't know what Maunder type. What is actual Maunder type? Because I'm learning as you guys are learning as well. A Maunder minimum unexplained period of drastically reduced sunspot activity that occurred between 1645 and 1715. Sunspot activity waxes and wanes with roughly an 11-year cycle. In 1894, the English astronomer Edward Walter Maunder pointed out that very few sunspots had been observed between 1645. Now, let's actually go and research what sunspots really mean. What is a sunspot? What does this actually mean, right? Sorry. Let's bring this up. Sunspot, a spot or patch appearing from time to time on the sun's surface, appearing dark by contrast with its surroundings. Sunspots are regions of lower surface temperature and are believed to form where loops in the sun's magnetic field intersect the surface. An individual spot may persist for several weeks. The number of sunspots on the solar surface fluctuates according to a regular cycle, with times of maximum sunspot activity recurring every 11 years. A dark or disclosed spot on the skin caused by exposure to the sun. No. A place that receives a lot of sunshine. No. So what I get from this mostly is the magnetic field intersect. The magnetic field. Sunspots cause magnetic pulls, right? Now, if we want to, really get scientific with it, what happens when, you're being pulled towards something, right? Magnetically, there are shifts. Okay, what happens when shifts happen? Let's speak from an experience of if you're shifting your mind mentally, right? When you magnetically feel pulled to learn different information on how you can better your life, right? You're going to be magnetically pulled towards more people that give you insight, like Myron Golden, Billy Carson, Yaki Awaken, 19 Keys, Earn Your Leisure, because these are platforms that are helping individuals improve their mindset when it comes to finances, when it comes to how they operate within themselves spiritually, mentally. When the sun is going through different shifts, that means we are going to go through different shifts. So with this cycle, from what I had researched, the sun is actually about to flip to where the poles of negative and positive are shifting. Think of like a battery, right? When you shift your battery, right, in say like a light, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word that I'm looking for? A flashlight. I don't know why that was a hard word to bring to fruition, but a flashlight. If you put the two ends in the wrong way, that flashlight is not going to work properly. But if you shift the batteries and put them in properly, the flashlight produces light, right? Now, what that relates to is on this planet, when the sun shifts, that means we're going to shift and new things are going to be happening here. There are going to be new paradigm shifts. There are going to be new perspectives. There are going to be things that are going to be tore down and rebuilt, because the sun is the center of a lot of things that happen in this world, right? And again, this may be new information to you. This may be information that you may not understand right now. However, take the time to research what all this stuff means, because again, everything matters, right? What I just read to you about the solar cycle 25, I'm even growing and learning about it more. I'm not a expert on any of this. However, what I am an expert on is knowing that everything has meaning, everything has reason to it, everything provides you knowledge. So with me knowing that, okay, this sun is going through a cycle, what does that mean for me as a person? Like, I have a quote unquote soul, right? Because that's what in when you break down the etymology of sun, it breaks down to the word soul, SOL, right? And it's the sun is also the center of the universe. Well, I have a soul that is the center of me, right? And when my mindset shifts, or when my spirit shifts, or its pole shifts, I start moving different. So who's to say that this earth is not going to look different? Who's to say that certain things aren't going to start showing different to us when that happens? But a lot of us are oblivious to this because we're so distracted, and we're always going to be like robots. We're if you want to see artificial intelligence, you can walk outside and see a whole bunch of NPCs, non-playable characters walking around like it's GTA. Why? Because a lot of people are so distracted in their phone. They're so distracted by work. They're so controlled by propaganda. They're being manipulated by technologies and different things that are in these I gotta mind my words on these channels. In these jabs, you feel what I'm saying? In these jabs, the food that we eat, it's so many things that matter that keep us distracted about what's going on up there. Because what goes on up there is a reflection of what's going to happen within here. If you can't see your greatness within, you're not going to be able to see your greatness on the outside of you. And this is what I learned from like just studying these different articles like this. That's why I bring it up in these channels. My channel is very unconventional. It's not very traditional. It's not always going to be on one particular topic. I'm going to be everywhere. I love sports. I love entertainment. I love technology. I love things about the world and the universe. I love health and wellness, personal development. What are some other things? Just I love a multitude of different things because it all provides insight on how we can move as individuals or as a community. So even though I read to you about this Hello Solar Cycle 25, I want you guys to go research this for yourself, because if the sun is about to go back into what is called a solar maximum in 2025, start looking around you to see like how your world starts to change around you, how these corporations start to move, because they study that stuff too. They study astrology, right? Because they have to move off the laws of the universe. It's bigger than civil law. You feel what I'm saying? It's bigger than laws of the land. It's bigger than that. These are just different stepping stones. Just like we got different aspects of ourselves, there are different aspects to life, period. Right? So I would definitely say take heed to that. Now, last but not least, man, let's just chat about, in accordance with this, look at the movie that just came out. Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind. Now, in this movie, you can see a lot of things that transpire as far as, agendas that certain people that don't have your best interests may be trying to do to continue to control you. Look at these EV cars, right? There was in that movie a point where all these Teslas or all these electric vehicles shut down. They shut down because they were being controlled, right? But even more than that, there was an article that I had seen where there were hundreds of Teslas that had ended up losing power because it was so cold where they were that it drained the power. And these people, they were stuck, right? The movie's produced by those who were in office, the Obamas, right? So I automatically go into my conspiracy theorist head tank, right? What are they trying to tell us? Because this is bigger than entertainment. I always tell people that, like, if somebody thought of a plot and all this stuff of in their mind of making this movie, then that means this is one, how they think. This is how they view the world around them. It's bigger than just entertainment. It's bigger than just a movie. This is either something that's coming, because movies are documentaries to me, right? With paradigms and things being destroyed, there's always has to be distractions. Even on top of the movie, let's talk about how, at one point in the movie they ended up going into like this underground bunker because, again, the world around them was crashing down. I just read another article not so long ago. Your boy Mark Zuckerberg is building an underground bunker for himself. Right? Why do people want us to leave the world behind? Why Why not so long ago, a couple years ago, they created the movie Don't Look Up. Why? Because there are certain things that are happening within the world right now that certain people in this world are not going to be able to ingest and take on. For instance, like this solar Maximus sun life cycle. That sun is going to be giving out a lot of energy. A lot of like those light rays that you see from the sun, it's penetrating you. It's penetrating your skin. It's giving you downloads. You may not know this because, again, you've been distracted and programmed to not think of anything to be real anymore. That's why they want to throw AI in your face now. That's why they want to throw them V goggles in your face now, because they want that to be your reality. But when these cycles, solar cycles and solar maximus and things of that nature happen, the people that can really see what's transpiring, they're activated. Certain people can't take this radiation. Certain people can't take this activation. Certain people aren't able going to receive the messages that is coming from this light. So what happens? You run into fear. You run into hiding because you want to be in control of what you feel like you need to be in control of. When in all actuality, none of us are in control of anything. I might think I'm in control of my own mind, how I move and things of that nature, but in all reality, I'm just a vessel to convey a message. I didn't create the universe, or maybe I did, because I'm a part of the divine. But what I'm trying to say is, like, why are these movies coming out? Because that means something that they're going to try to implement within this world is going to be implemented to try to control you. Now, I'm saying to you, are you going to continue to be controlled by this? Or are you going to go out here and start taking control of your own life? Right? Remember, I told you guys earlier, I'm about to start moving in the private, not the public. Because there's things that I'm learning as I grow wiser about living in the public versus living in the private. And that could be for another podcast, that we actually bring somebody up about teaching about living in the private rather than living in the public. But I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. Like, don't look at these movies as just entertainment. These are documentaries. Why did the Obamas create this? And it could be a distraction, but a distraction from what? Exactly. That's how I always think. A distraction from what? Why do you want me to be distracted? You feel me? So take a look into those things that I brought up to y'all, man. Those were some dope articles that I found very, very interesting to me. Right? If it's interesting to you, thank you. I'm happy that I can give you guys some good knowledge. If not, let me know what you feel like you want to learn more about. Like I feel like I'm well versed in a lot of different topics, a lot of different categories. You feel what I'm saying? So we can definitely, go hand in hand, or turn up and speak on different things. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the last two segments, thought-provoking questions. And y'all know about thought-provoking questions. For those who don't, thought-provoking questions is 100 days that I'm doing of thought-provoking questions, where I ask myself, I ask friends, I ask families, or questions that I would ask the 1%, 5%, 10% of those who are great at what they do, how they got there, and how they continue to maintain this type of lifestyle or mindset. So the question of the day for day 43 is, what have been the most significant turning points in your life and career? What have been the most significant turning points in your life and career? The most significant turning point in my life was when I found out who I was. That was in 2019. COVID hit, all of that stuff. 2019, 2020, COVID hit. Things transpired within my life personally that resulted in me having to do a real deep dive into who I was as a man, who I was as a spirit here, who I was just period, like who and what I was, right? So that came along with me doing what some people call shadow work. That came along with a lot of prayer. That came with along a lot of meditation. That came with a lot of, being mindful of myself. That came with a lot of growing pains, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of nights I cried, a lot of nights, I was very happy because I was seeing the change. It was very significant because I finally felt like I gained a grasp on why I was here. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people in the world, they move without intention, they move without understanding, they move without, truth being revealed to them. And my spirit just wasn't going because I always felt like, one, I was different. I always felt like I viewed the world different. I had a different perspective. I always felt like I was not supposed to be confined to different things. And on I think that was my 32nd or 33rd year. That's when, again, things were revealed to me. And it was very significant to me because now I'm able to step into my God power. My God power looks like breaking generational patterns for individuals and families that are unable to see the greatness within themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, socially, like in any aspect. I have a gift of being able to heal spirits, man. That I have a gift of being able to heal spirits and minds. How do I do it? Ask the Most High. I can't give you that. Why do I do it? Because one is what I wholeheartedly feel I know I'm supposed to do while I'm here, but two, it's almost as if I'm working on myself as I do it. And it's providing even more joy and understanding unto me as I help others. In my career, the turning point was me realizing that I could produce something for myself. Like this podcast, I did all this on my own. See Your Greatness Studios, I built it on my own. Right? Goals Mental Health Agency, I built that. I had individuals help me with that one though, but I built it mentally first. Like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. This is something that I really want to engage in and build. Like I built that. Like this studio room, I can't say I built this. Wifey helped me with this one. She's very big on like lights and the quality of how things look and are presented. This is my little studio, man. She got me that smart cube. She gave me this crystal. The pictures in the back I put up, I might actually change that because I want to make that less cluttered. I'm gonna probably just change that to a whole big like See Your Greatness Studios podcast sign back there. But yeah, like that's what I've found the most significant in my career and my life. Y'all tell me what has been the most significant turning point in your life and in your career. Like leave it in the comments after this video. You feel what I'm saying? Definitely think about this question. You feel me? Now, last thing, and we're out of here. All right, family. Words of wisdom to wrap everything up. There was something that my guy Myron Golden said, and he said, it's not what you do for a living, it's what do you do while you're living. I'm gonna repeat that. It's not what you do for a living, it's what do you do while you are living. Right? A lot of people feel like they are defined by what they do. Oh, I'm a photographer, I'm a podcaster, I'm a YouTuber, I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, I understand that. That's what you do. But what are you doing while you live? Not what you do for a living. What are you doing while you are living? Well, yeah, I might be an entrepreneur, but I'm also helping families, find resources. I'm tuned in, brother. Yo, hey, look, we on the last segment, my guy. We on the last segment, man. Words of wisdom. We're on the last segment. We about to get up out of here. Um, and the message of the day was, or the message of the day was, show up. And the words of wisdom that we're, ending it out in is, it's not what you do for a living, is what do you do while you are living. Not what you do for a living, is what you do while you are living. And that's by our guy, Super. That's by our guy, Myron Golden. And I was just telling the people that that's very important, because nobody is gonna remember you for, you know um your titles. Nobody's gonna remember you for your titles. They're gonna remember what you did. They're gonna remember what you did while you were moving as an entrepreneur, or while you were moving as a CEO, while you were moving as a teacher. They're not looking at the label. People look at what you do under that umbrella. You feel what I'm saying? Drop the diamonds. You feel me? Those are the gems, bro. Those are the gems, bro. So, y'all take heed to this information, man, that I gave tonight. Y'all let me know what you want me to talk about. Well, y'all really can't let me know, because, the Most High usually gives me my messages as far as the message of the week. But y'all let me know about topics that y'all find interesting, and maybe, we can spark conversation with that. Send me articles. You feel what I'm saying? Send me articles as well about things that you find interesting and enlightening to you. What you say? Absolutely, the character, not the persona. Exactly. You feel me? The character, not the persona. So, I appreciate y'all from coming in here today, man. This was another episode of the See Your Greatness podcast, episode 53. It's time to show up. This is our build and destroy year that's approaching. Remember those 4 values that I told you guys to write down for yourself. My top 4 values as a creator, as a partner, as a business person, as a spiritual being, were discipline, focus, love, and imagination. And those new upgrades that we discussed today, my shout out to my guy Rich Paul for solidifying what he did with the MLB and Rep One Baseball. Shout out to Nvidia, for and its owner or its CEO for making himself $30 billion richer. Shout out to these movies that are being produced for enlightening us on what's to come within, this next, few years, and in our future. um Shout out to everything. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to myself for being able to stay consistent and hold myself accountable with, giving you guys information in game every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be back next Tuesday just to check in. We'll be sure to level up and show up, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anybody that's looking to come on the podcast as well, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always visit this link right here to get in contact with me. Just shoot me an email, shoot me a text, because you can add me to your contacts via the link. And let me know about the craft that you are passionate about teaching about, and let's schedule a time to get you on the podcast and, actually do the show. But other than that, family, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process. The truest keys to success. Continue to tap in, continue to lock in, Continue to stay focused. Continue to be great. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, man. Yeah, Zersky.